I think this is something we've talked about like the last, 2 weeks. And this is, I guess, a process that it's going to take longer to kind of play out than you would think. Possibly it might even take another couple weeks from here. Um, but what we're really seeing is that all the coins that are being sold are from very young wallets. So Glassnode can separate these using heuristics into the wallets or entities that are short term or long term. Once they cross a certain threshold, they're labeled as long term, which is I think 155 days. But a lot of the selling has come from those short term holders. And then also another way to look at this, and this is what I threw in the newsletter, is dormancy, which has been trending down for months now. But I think the key thing to look at here is that the short-term holders, and this is a process that started last week, have now been offset by the long-term holders buying, which I think is key to look at. That the short-term holders had been offsetting the selling from the long-term over the last call it 3-4 weeks ago, but now that's starting to rotate back into the favor of long-term holders. I think they're offsetting them by 5,337 is what I had put when we put the newsletter out. It might have changed because it's been a day later, but so you're starting to see that rotation back into long term, which is of course a good thing. But one thing conversely to kind of the bearish narrative is that we haven't seen any new whales. I think seeing new whales is something that we're gonna kind of need to keep a $700 billion asset afloat, moving up. So we've really seen predominantly like longer term market, experienced market participants doing a lot of the buying, but we haven't seen any new large entities coming on chain that would necessarily represent perhaps institutional buying or something like that. So that's something that I'm keeping a close eye on, because I think Bitcoin is beyond the point where retail can reasonably sustain this asset. Granting, like people like to throw out those statistics of like if everybody in the world bought $10 of Bitcoin, it would go up, but I just don't think that's realistic. So yeah, at this point, I think you're gonna need at least an uptick in the short term of those new whales coming on chain to really start to see a dramatic price reversal, but that's been trending down for a month or two. So perhaps that has to do with institutional buying coming in late summer. I know like NYDIG is doing some stuff there, so well, that's something once again we'll have to just keep an eye on. But that is still trending down. We still haven't seen a big substantial uptick in new whales coming on chain.